Alrighty. At number 6, we have the Archer Mage. Now, I know y'all are like, no. Okay, gotta listen. Gotta let me explain. Archer Mage. Great class combination. It actually will benefit the Archer a lot. Um, with the abilities, first, well, yeah, we'll go on over to we've already talked about the Archer tree and everything like that, and what you get from it. But when you go over to the Mage tree, what's going to benefit the Archer is obviously Magic Shield. I mean, that's just a flat damage reduction, and it's great. And then, you get the best travel spell in the game, Teleport. It's awesome. And you can also, I mean, I don't know how many empty slots you're going to have on your toolbar, but I mean, hey, Frozen Aura is good to have for an archer. Slows everything down. And then, Magic Orbit. You don't have to, all you really need is 1 point in it. You want to use it in order to use procs. Like, have it constantly rotating and hitting stuff as you're shooting, and if it hits something that is below below 30%, execute. Or it can constantly be spinning and hitting stuff, and it'll be freezing them, it'll be cursing them, things like that. So it's there mainly for procs, for hitting procs, and then that's it. You're like, you kind of, it's nothing else is really there, and everything can really be done without you. This this stuff is not necessary to make the archer better. It definitely helps, and Magic Shield is going to be one of the biggest things for any class to mitigate damage. And if you look over at the archer, I mean, you got frenzy and dodge, even though dodge is whatever, and empower weapon, and then of course corpse explosion, and then all your multi shoot and sonic arrow, your main big attacks. And why I'm ranking this a little lower than what people usually would think about the Archer Mage is because they don't complement each other very well. They really don't. Both Mage and Archer are usually, for the most part, they are zoners. They keep their distance, and they're going to sit there and hit you with projectiles. Now, with the Archer, it's all physical, and with the Mage, it's all magical. So you're putting your stuff into physical, and anything that you get from the Mage is not really going to be beneficial towards your damage. It's all going to be relying on the Archer. Now, you get Magic Shield, like I said, and of course Teleport. I mean, let's not. You can infuse Teleport on anybody. So I mean, but that whatever. Magic Shield is really the only thing going for this build, and it gives it more survivability than the Archer. The Warrior Archer, because of Magic Shield. But then I'm going to get into, in my next video, why archers don't necessarily need a lot of defense, and I've proven that with my build that I have on my archer. They need some, and they need some way to mitigate damage, but they don't need it like the warrior does, because the warrior is up in the middle of stuff, and you're just getting hit everywhere, and you can't get away from flame armor. You have to go in there and get hit. Archer, that's not a big deal. You don't have to get near flame armor. You can just sit there and shoot. So That's why I'm ranking the archer builds above the warrior builds, well, except for one, and which we'll get into. But again, the archer mage doesn't really complement each other. It's like you get a lot of wasted points. Yeah, you get some, you can able to fill out synergies and things like that. But then when you look over at the mage tree, it's just kind of a few wasted points. I'll put it in. What the fuck do I do with these points? I guess just throw them in frozen ore. I don't know. You're gonna have more than 20 in teleport because of plus ability, and once you get to 20 teleport, it doesn't do any good. So the only thing that you're really going to max out in the mage tree is magic shield and possibly magic orbit, but I can't see using points on magic orbit because your magic damage is going to be so low. That's kind of stupid to do that. I mean, that's just my opinion. You're using that for a means to an end. It's being used to trigger a proc when you have procs like I said, execute, curse, freeze, immobilize, shit like that. So this does have in-game capabilities. Right on the cusp. If it has a little bit of help, you could effectively farm with it. I'm not going to say efficiently. I believe you could effectively farm. It would take a little bit longer, and because you're not going to be doing quite the damage that you need to be doing with in-game farming, such as farming R15, 16, 17. You could probably do Mage Tower, not too bad, with multi-shoot, or... Look at that. I hadn't touched my screen so long, it froze up. With multi-shoot and Sonic Arrow, you could do MT5, but there are better builds. There is a better build to use, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, the the archer mage, not too bad, and it's all right. Not the best. Somewhere getting close to the middle of the road. Questions, comments, opinions, as always, put them down there. I'll get back with y'all. Y'all have a good night.